What's going on, guys? Jurassic Acid here. Today we are checking out Rover Mechanic. This game released out of early access on November 12th. If it reminds you of any game, it is made by the same people who made Occupy Mars. Since you are quite a fresh engineer, you have completed special introduction missions to learn the ropes. Follow the steps like this and you will learn about working as a rover mechanic. Some of the steps include this one. It may contain multiple messages, plus D to view the next message. If you don't know what to do next, just look for such markers. They show you your current objective and help you track your other tasks. You can always press forward to toggle the objective panel in the top right corner of the screen. Use it to check the details of your current task. The mouse cursor changes depending on whether you're looking at an interactable object. The crossed out circle menu, oh yeah. The visible dot means you can interact with the object you're looking at. The informative side panel help you keep track of your current tasks, objectives, key bindings, and part of collecting log. To show heights, side panels 4, 5, 6, 4, 6. Cool. I like how they actually have their logo stamped on the side of the building. That's pretty clever. We got the name of the game over here. Alright, now let's see how to make us a rover. Now what would be really cool, I don't think they actually did it, but if they incorporated this game and Occupy Mars to where you could build like a rover in this game and then have it carry over into the next one, that'd be kind of cool. Alright, so what is this? Looks like we just pick up all the items. Great! Now that you have all the tools, you're almost ready to start your work. Now walk around the hangar and we will explain what you do and each specific device does. When you're finished, you will accept your first order. At the moment, almost all devices are unavailable, but we want you to know more about them. Okay. We want you to look at it, but you can't use it. The radio. It's just a digital radio. As much as you have absolutely no use for it while repairing rovers, it's still a pretty neat device, can easily brighten your mood. Click the left mouse button to blah blah. We're not going to do that because of copyright reasons. The PCB table. The PCB table finds out which components of the printed circuit boards are damaged so you can replace them. Remember that you don't always have to 3D print specific PCB components. If you want to avoid too much work, you can also print an entire PCB, but this is, of course, a more expensive solution. Okay, so that guy sounds pretty important. Rover configurator. With the help of this device, you can configure ECUs of the rovers you repair. Every time you finish the job, you have to plug the wireless configurator into the rover and use the rover's ECU configurator to reset the system. Sweet! Looks like we got a lift right here. Workbench. Use the workbench to find out which components of the set are damaged so you can easily replace them. On this workbench, you can clean the dirty parts, remove the parts that you can analyze, and repair the parts which are dirty. Keep in mind that you don't always have to 3D print specific set of components. If you want to avoid too much work, you can always print an entire set, but this is of course more expensive. Basically the same thing over there. Crusher. With the help of the crusher, you can recycle bad parts. Okay, so basically you just throw the bad parts in here and it'll, for the most part, replenish all your resources back. 3D printer. Print new components, blah blah. The higher complexity of the part, the more time it takes to print. Try to complete your orders by replacing the smallest components possible since it's a more economical approach. Remember that printing resources you can obtain more resources by completing quests. And what is this? This device helps you maintain control unit of your hangar. Use it to operate the gantry crane and play retro video games if you have any. The MCU OS is a Martian distribution of the Linux. Sudo doesn't work on Mars. Each play of the initial installed games will allow you to obtain additional resources. The amount of resources will be available while playing will depend on your final score in the game. What? That's kind of cool. Alright. Where do we start a new quest at? What do you want? This thing? That's first aid. And we're not allowed to leave. Rover configurator. maybe it's in our tablet? Oh, what is this? Order selector view. Welcome to the order selector view. Here you can find all your orders. Our colony receives blah blah. As usually able to engineer. Some orders are complex and there are ones that are even more complex. Cool. Once you have selected tasks, all important information you need is displayed at the right side of the screen. Each order has a small note that informs you what the problem is, but keep in mind that this is just a loose insight from the ordering company. Alright, preliminary analysis. Cool. Wheels. Seems pretty easy. Service would you like to provide? Premium, of course. What? Alright, fine. Standard. Give you a wheel. It's kind of cool. You gotta hold your fingerprint. Technically, they just make you hold the mouse button, but it's still kind of cool. It scans you in. The tab is the essential point in the game. Here you can find all the information about your task. The reward box contains information, blah blah. Each tutorial mission, you can finish the order without repairing the rover, but the only rule is that they cannot be lacking any parts. However, we do not recommend this method as it might backfire and you will have to bear the consequences. To do it right, or you might have consequences. Let's talk about the tabs on the right. In the missing parts tab, you can see all the missing parts detached from the rover currently being replaced. Remember that you can't finish the task before you attach all the missing parts. Task here, blah blah. Alright, so it looks like we got bearings that need to be replaced. Cool. Prepare for your work. Each rover is transported in a special metal tin, blah blah. They unpack automatically. Should be this thing, right? Overhead crane control. Like a little penguin. Oh, is this the game they were talking about? Wait, what? It's kind of cool that they included this in the game. Alright. Once I either fail or fully finish this snake, I will bring us back. It's going to take a minute. And we're back. Alright. So let's get out of that. It was taking a minute, so I just went around and failed it. So what do we do with this? Oh, we can actually move it? Alright. So we want to line it up. Hold Shift W to raise the grabber. Shift S to lower the grabber. F to attach. Okay. Then we just sort of bring it around over here. You can click F. Nope. Guess we need to lower it the boring way. That's it, right? Sweet. That wasn't too bad. Oh, this dude's a little tiny thing. When you click on a vehicle on the left, you can enter the repairing view, blah blah. Assembly mode, analytics mode. You can switch between them by clicking 1, 2, 3. Note that you do not have to be in the repairing view to do that. In the disassembly mode, you can remove the parts from the rover, then remove parts go directly into the warehouse. Access it to the warehouse tab in your tablet. Assembly mode. In the assembly mode, you can attach parts that you have in your warehouse to rovers you repair. The lack of parts appears slightly transparent. Analysts. In the analysis mode, you can always analyze parts, decide which parts need to be replaced. The analyzed parts different color than the analyzed parts are different colors than not analyzed. White not analyzed, orange dirty, green perfect, yellow acceptable, red immediate replacement. When the part is dirty, you can't analyze it. In the situation, you have to remove and clean it first. You can always make sure you're in the right mode by simply clicking on the icon above. With the knowledge, you can easily find the damaged wheel. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. Alright, so red is bad. Yellow is acceptable. Alright. So Looks like the bearings are bad, so we're gonna have to remove the wheels. Right? Oh, right click to remove. Click to select. Oh cool, you actually unscrew them. Takes a second. Okay. Now we gotta actually unscrew everything. Sweet. Alright, so let's zoom it in real quick. At least it doesn't take too long unscrewing stuff. Should be able to remove that now. Now yellow was acceptable. Alright. Some piece around here is red, so we gotta figure out whatever is turning red. And replace that. Looks like all the wheels are bad. Alright, so let's just go ahead and get all the wheels off. Or not. What about you? Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. So it looks like the wheels are bad, but they won't actually let you do anything with them. Alright guys, give me a second to figure this out and I will bring us back. And we're back. So I guess it's just the wheel we have to replace. I was thinking since it's turned red that it meant it needed to be replaced also, but looks like we're good. Alright, so right click to assemble. Take the wheel, then we gotta screw everything back in. Should be the same as reverse. I like how you don't really have to spend too long to screw this stuff in, but it still teaches you like how they're built. It's pretty cool. Alright, we want this a plug. Sweet. Alright, so this is how you define all the parts in the rover to see if they're in working condition or not. Okay. So it looks like we do have to go around to the other side. Is there... Can we just walk? Oh, sweet. Now I'm with you. What was it? 3 that we were in? Oh, yeah. We're going to analyze all this stuff. So when you first start out, make sure you click 3, then you can analyze all the parts and find out what is in working condition and what is not. So now that everything's actually highlighted, it should be like 10 times easier. Because I was sitting there just trying to mouse over the things and see what was wrong. I guess this way works too. Sweet. I'm kind of surprised that wheel that we replaced didn't turn green though. I wonder why that is. Because I mean, all the tires on that side were yellow, even though we replaced one of them. So, I don't know. You'd think that would be like perfect condition. Printing. Now you have damaged part, you can imprint the new one. We have just unlocked the 3D printer for you. When the printing is done, you can attach the new wheel along with the rest of the missing parts. But yes, don't forget to take the new wheel from the printer to the feeder. Okay. So let's back out of that. PCB table. Printer on this side, I think it's on the other side. That's the recycler, so this is the workbench. Okay, maybe I was wrong. Right? PCB, configurator. That's, oh, there we go. 283 parts. Seems simple enough. And it looks like it's crafting. Oh, sweet, it actually shows you the time and everything. Now, I guess we don't have the crusher unlocked. I wonder what happened to that other wheel. I mean, we replaced the one on this side and it was just simple as take it off and put it back on. Is it just a loose nut? I don't know. So let's grab the wheel. Maybe it's not done yet. Right, we can't just assemble it, can we? No, okay. We're just making sure. Hold up to access the bottom panels. What? Oh, so this must be for bigger rovers. That's kind of cool. This little guy doesn't get a stand like that. Alright. So we made it. Well, where are you? Oh. Did this stuff? Sweet. So it looks like we made an extra one. Good enough. Alright, so now we will go into assembly mode. Assembly mode. There we go. Sweet. So I don't know if we should replace that other wheel or not. I mean, it didn't give us a prompt that it was broken, so I'm gonna call it good. I mean, it is just the beginning area anyway, so it shouldn't really matter. These wheel plugs look like they were damaged too. Sweet. Should be everything. The REC connector. The last thing to do is resetting the ECU. To do this, you have to use the ECU configurator. You have seen it before. The device connects to the rotors via a special connector that you have to plug in first. Some important things you need to know. You can plug the connector in only if no parts on the rover are missing, otherwise you will not see it. You can't disassemble the rover while the connector is in the rover, so always do it at the very end. If you configure the drivers disconnect the connectors, you will restart again and have to blah blah. Cool. In order to stick the connector into the rover existing repair, press 2 for assembly mode. If everything is fine, you should be able to stick it in without any problems. To disconnect the connector, press 1 for the disassembly mode. Remember, you have to do it out of the repairing view. Okay. So let's go back in here. Now that it's in, what do we do? Is this thing working now? Sweet. On the screen, you can reset the rover system. Your task is to create a path from the battery to the output. When you click at the... Okay, so basically we just turn stuff. So that's where a chip is. That's where the battery is. So this guy is going to need to... Alright, so we can rotate, delete, or select. Negative voltage slot, powered, unpowered, selected. So it looks like we have a whole bunch of straights. Okay, I'm with you now. So now we should be able to rotate him. Oops. We want to rotate him, and then select the next block. Put the straight in. Straight rotate. Oop. Alright. Oh, actual voltage 0. So let's get rid of you. We're not able to. Okay, let's. No, that has to be how you do it. What? I'm confused. Oh, so you have to assign the values to each of these? Right? Okay, so now we have a -4 voltage. It looks like you have to use the red ones. So now we have actual voltage of 6. So we have 5, a 2, and a 4. And we're looking for an 8. So maybe let's bump this one from 4 to 5? Or no? See how these are all grayed out? So you can only have one negative. So we can swap that to -1. But one of these is going to have to be boosted up 1 point. We are out of 5s. We do have 1 4. So maybe, oh, turn you to 4. And then you are -1, so let's do -2. Sweet. That wasn't too bad. I didn't really explain that each one varied differently. I didn't realize that. Select the other one. Anyways, congratulations, you have just finished your first order. Now the only thing to do is to get to your tablet and finish the order. Recommend finishing with blah blah. Okay. Do we need to unplug this guy? No? Okay. I was thinking you would have to unplug them. Minimum parts reliability, 50%. Yep, cool. You have seen a summary of the quest completed in the task block, so you can see how many experience points you have gained from each part and task. If you complete each step correctly, you will get additional experience points, blah blah blah. If it's damaged parts box, yep, cool. Sweet. Took a little bit longer than I was expecting for our first rover, but I think we did a decent job. Let me know what you guys think of this game down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more.